今天要分享的改编故事是洛阳纸贵，希望能在学习英语的路上给你带来收获。你的每个点赞和订阅都是对我莫大的鼓励。那么，咱们开始吧。
He was called the dumbest man in all of China, yet he made an entire city run out of paper. Imagine a man so ugly, so slow in speech, that his own father wished he had never been born. That man's name was Cui, and he lived during the Western Jin dynasty, around the year 250. His father, looking at this awkward, stammering boy, would tell his friends, "This child is hopeless. The knowledge he has now is less than what I had when I was a kid." You could feel the weight of those words, right? A kid growing up under that shadow. But Cui? He heard every single word. And instead of breaking him, it lit a fire. He locked himself away and started to study like his very life depended on it. He didn't just read books. He devoured them. He knew he wasn't the sharpest tool in the shed, so he decided to outwork everyone else. Years passed, and a twist of fate brought his family to the capital city, Luoyang. This wasn't just any city, it was the beating heart of the empire, crawling with the smartest poets and writers of the age. Cui was just a country boy from Shandong, but he had a crazy ambition. He read these famous works, the Two Capitals Rhapsody by Ban Gu and the Two Metropolises Rhapsody by Zhang Heng. Everyone thought they were perfect. But Cui? He saw a flaw. He thought they were full of hot air, more fiction than fact. And he said to himself, "I can do better. I'll write a Three Capitals Rhapsody that is so accurate, so real, that it will be a true record of our times." People laughed at him. I mean, who was this guy? Some ugly, talentless nobody from the sticks daring to criticize the masters? One big-shot writer named Lu Ji, who was also planning a similar piece, just sneered. He said, "Some village idiot thinks he can outwrite Ban Gu and Zhang Heng? Let him write. I'll use his pages to cover my wine jars." But Cui didn't care. He was obsessed. He knew he needed to get every detail right. He took a job as a secretary in the National Library, just so he could bury himself in ancient history books, geography scrolls, and old records. He tracked down Zhang Zai, a writer who had been to the Shu region, and grilled him for days about the mountains, the rivers, the people. He wanted the truth, not just pretty words. And this is where it gets intense. For 10 years, his house wasn't a home, it was a war room. He put brushes and pieces of paper everywhere. By the gate. On the walls. On his desk. On his bed. Even in the outhouse. The moment a good line came to him, even in the middle of the night or while he was, he'd grab a brush and scribble it down right there. 10 years of his life. 10 years of collecting, writing, and rewriting. That's dedication. That's pain. Finally, the manuscript was complete. The Three Capitals Rhapsody. It was done. And Swazi, with his heart pounding, showed it to the world. And the world yawned. They looked at the author's name, Swazi, the nobody, and tossed it aside. It's garbage, they said, without even reading a single line. All that work. A decade of his life. For nothing. The rejection was so sharp, so public, it had to cut deeper than anything his father ever said. He was a failure, and everyone in Luoyang knew it. Most people would have given up. They would have crawled into a hole. But not Swazi. He was stubborn. He was desperate. He knew in his bones that his work was good. He just needed someone to actually read it. So he took his manuscript to the one man whose opinion mattered, Zhang Hua, the most respected scholar in the empire. He was like the king of the literary world. Zhang Hua was old and busy. He had a stack of terrible manuscripts on his desk. But he saw the fire in this strange little man's eyes and agreed to take a look. That night, Zhang Hua lit his lamp and started to read. The first line was good. The second line was better. By the third page, he was hooked. He stayed up all night reading it. When he finished, he was blown away. This wasn't just good. This was genius. This was on par with the ancient masters. The next day, Zhang Hua called Swazi to his house. He grabbed his hand and said, "This work is a masterpiece. The fools in this town don't know what they're looking at. But I will make sure they do." He told Swazi, "Go see Huang Fumi. He's a legendary scholar who has retired from the world. If he writes a preface for your work, everyone will have to take it seriously." Swazi rushed to find Huang Fumi. The old scholar was skeptical. He had seen 1,000 young writers come and go. But he started reading, and just like Zhang Hua, he was stunned. "Where has this man been hiding?" he whispered. He agreed to write the preface. Not only that, other top scholars stepped up to write detailed commentaries for each section of the massive work. And then, the explosion happened. When the complete package hit the streets of Luoyang, the city went crazy. The Three Capitals Rhapsody was all anyone could talk about. Scholars read it and argued over its meaning. Rich nobles, who just wanted to seem smart, demanded copies for their libraries. Remember that big shot Lu Ji, the one who laughed at him? He got his hands on a copy. He read it once. Then again. He put it down and let out a long sigh. "I have nothing to add," he said. "This is the final word." And he burned his own half-finished manuscript. The demand for the book was insane. This was long before printing presses, remember? If you wanted a book, you had to copy it by hand, word for word. And everyone wanted a copy. The rich hired scribes. The poor borrowed copies and stayed up all night writing by candlelight. And this is where our story gets its name. The paper sellers in Luoyang woke up to lines of people outside their shops. I need 100 sheets. I need 200. The shop owners couldn't keep up. The price of paper, which was stable for years, started to climb. It doubled. It tripled. Soon, there was no paper left in the entire city. People had to travel to neighboring towns just to buy paper so they could copy this book. The streets buzzed with the scratching of brushes. The city ran out of paper because of one man's words. The phrase Luoyang paper became expensive was born. It sounds like a fairy tale, the ugly duckling becoming a swan. But here's the thing about Swazi that sticks with me. The world told him he was worthless from the day he was born. He faced rejection not once, but twice, first from his father, and then from the entire literary establishment. He had every excuse to quit. He could have said, "They're right, I'm not good enough." But he didn't. He didn't let their words become his truth. Think about your own life. How many times have you held back because you were afraid of what people might say? How many dreams have you buried because someone told you, "You're not good enough," or "Who do you think you are?" We all have that voice in our head, that echo of a parent, a teacher, a bully. Swazi's story is proof that those voices are wrong. The only thing that matters is the work. The 10 years of solitude. The paper in the outhouse. The stubborn belief in yourself when no one else believes. He didn't let the world's opinion become his identity. He just kept writing. So the next time you're working on something that matters to you, and you hear that little voice of doubt, remember that ugly, stammering man in Luoyang. Remember that the people who laughed at him ended up buying his paper. Your ideas have value. Your voice matters. Don't let the world's paper run out before you've written your story. Keep writing. Keep fighting. Make your own paper expensive.
下集请移步主页观看。